Hi all. I am finally home back in Australia and just submitted my university report for my sabbatical, ADP. And just spending a little time out on my patio here in my little urban garden, a little serenity, and doing some reflection on the whirlwind that was my sabbatical in 2024, and thought maybe I might share a few highlights, some thoughts in what is a sabbatical, what did I make the sabbatical, and maybe just kind of share some of my journey with you, some of the highlights. So here we go. I took my sabbatical between July and December 2024 and visited 3 countries. Flew into the United States, spent some time in Canada and Mexico. It was so incredibly rewarding, and while I didn't accomplish everything I set out to do, which is maybe a good takeaway if you're looking at what is a sabbatical and what you want to do with it, I would highly recommend that you start early in the planning, recognizing that everybody else that you're hoping to visit, they're not really thinking about your trip. So you really have to allow them enough time to wrap their head around how they can be supportive of your agenda, and making sure that you build in time for them to accomplish making time in their diary, in their busy lives, especially academics. So keep in mind, you're not going to accomplish everything you want to, but have contingency plans and be flexible, and most importantly, be gentle on yourself. Overall, the purpose of my trip was to strengthen my position, my scholarly position as a sexual health social worker. But it also grounded me in a little bit of respite and giving me the luxury, the privilege of stepping away from my teaching and my normal responsibilities and focusing just on my research and my trajectory around scholarly production. And that piece was extremely successful. And it also had this hidden benefit of allowing me to reconnect with mentors, sage, wise people that had guided me through my academic career, as well as provided space just to renew myself in just relaxation and being able to visit with friends and family and people who renew my spirit. So make sure there's time for that, and allowing for those business relationships to happen more organically, not so much on a fixed schedule or agenda like a Zoom agenda. It allowed me just to sit and visit over a glass of wine and just ponder new ideas. And that's a real luxury that we often don't have. So make sure that you build in some of that just organic relaxation time. On that note, some of the highlights is, I got to reconnect with a former professor of mine, Dr. Leah Gensheimer from UMKC, and we just had a lovely lunch. And she provided some advice around academia and how to navigate the challenges and the barriers around academic promotion, things that I needed to hear and think about. I also got to fly to Philadelphia and connect with another beautiful soul, a mentor that I have, Dr. Betsy Crane from Widener University, and have her help me also with focusing on my research and what is it that I want to accomplish over the next 3 to 5 years, and what does that entail, and how am I going to get there. While in Philadelphia, I got to spend a week with a colleague at her home in the countryside outside of Philadelphia, Dr. Mary Rita Weller, and we worked on a scoping review project. And then afterwards, I spent another week with a colleague, Dr. Sabitha Pillai Friedman, in Philadelphia at her just amazing home in downtown Philadelphia and talk about the art and the skill of teaching sex therapy. Both of those visits allowed me opportunities to focus on my teaching and my research, which was really nice. My sabbatical had two visiting scholar events, gigs, invitations. One was at the Silberman School of Social Work, Hunter College. I was hosted by Dr. Dodd and gave a lunch and learn talk to the Silberman School faculty around inclusive strategies to integrate sexuality and disability within the social work curriculum. And then I had a really, really just incredible time guest lecturing for Dr. Dodd's social work human sexuality class, and about 25 MSW students. They were so engaged, so thoughtful. They're going to be excellent, excellent sexual health advocates. Those are the kind of things that really invigorate me as an educator. I flew from New York to Toronto, my first time in Canada, and I was a visiting scholar at McMaster University there, hosted by N. Fudge Shorman in the social work department, and got to visit a rehabilitation hospital. She had arranged a really lovely tour and meet colleagues there to talk about research and all the wonderful things they're doing around disability and sexuality. And they had this incredible art project that was an art installation within the hospital, and met Dr. Shelley Craig at the University of Toronto, who's a luminary in social work. And I had a lovely coffee with a community activist, Andrew Gurza, who we got to just talk about the realities of living with a disability and trying to navigate conversations around sexuality and disability. He is such a gifted speaker and an incredibly strong advocate. So wait for a really nice visit. I wrapped up September by flying to Florida, where I got to spend 2 of the best weeks with my best friend, Dr. Lisa Myers. And anytime I can spend time with this incredible human being, it's so nurturing for the soul. We got to talk about her guest lecturing for me and providing 2 recorded lectures and talking about rewriting a manuscript that we're working on. So that was really just incredibly beneficial time to be able to work on that manuscript. In addition, probably some of the major takeaways from my sabbatical is I got to spend time writing, really intensive time writing. I had 6 manuscripts, very ambitious, that I was hoping to get published during my sabbatical. What ended up happening is I didn't get them all sent off to publishing, but I made incredible strides in working on rough drafts for the majority of those. I did submit 2 co-authored manuscripts and 1 sole authored manuscript, and those are under the review process. I got my sole authored manuscript back for a revise and resubmit, and the others are just kind of waiting in their wings for me to get back to writing them. But I had the privilege of moving those along, and they're at a place now where I can really hammer out these papers and ideally get them published this year. I also submitted 2 funding applications, and that was a triumph in itself because these will hopefully be accepted and will be new research projects in the coming year. Both of these are with U.S. nonprofit organizations. And so I'm really excited about those. So keep your fingers crossed, and there'll be news to share with you about what those projects are going to be hopefully coming up. I also presented at 2 conferences, 4 papers. The first one was at CSWE, which is a major social work conference, and it was in my lovely hometown of Kansas City, Missouri. So it was so nice to get back there and visit. And the nice thing about a conference is the networking. And out of nowhere, I got to have a conversation with a colleague from the University of Kansas, and we now have a research project that we're working on starting this year. I'm really excited about that. My second conference was in San Diego, the Quad S conference, the Society for the Scientific Study of Sexuality. Presented 2 papers there and got some much needed time visiting with friends, having tacos, and catching up on gossip, which was, again, very much needed to the relaxation and renewal of my spirit. Afterwards, I flew down to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and spent a week with Dr. Justin Citron and his partner, and they hosted me. And while we didn't get to the project that we thought we were going to do, Dr. Citron and I definitely had the creative juices flowing, and we got to think about a new project that took place because we had time to actually have conversations and actually visit and marinate on our thoughts and process around what kind of research needs to happen within Mexico and potentially within the Latino community there, and what that could look like. So that was very exciting. I think in summary, I'm just going to wrap up and say, the purpose as I saw it for the sabbatical was to help further my research trajectory, and it absolutely did that. The activities I got to participating will inform not only my research but my teaching, and bring me back into a new semester reinvigorated and excited about all these new possibilities. So if you ever presented the opportunity to take a sabbatical, take advantage of that. The university offered me a small stipend, so I got a little bit to pay for my airfare, the international airfare, and the most important thing is they kept me on the payroll, and they reduced or released me from my teaching responsibilities. That's why I was able to focus all my energy and thoughts into my research. And as an academic, we need that. We need that time to be good scholars. So try to take advantage of that. Plan something that speaks to you, speaks to your needs, speaks to your interests, and dabble in there, sprinkle in some fun and excitement and new things, and make sure that you talk to people that are on your wish list, and reach out to those people that you've been dying to have a conversation with. This is the time to do that. So good luck on your academic sabbatical. Take care.